G'day everyone, welcome to Daz Talks Footy, and if you've clicked on this video and you're wondering why the hell does this have an age restriction on it, what kind of new age weirdness is Daz going to show us, don't worry, the hoodie is going to stay on at all times, I can promise you. But in going over all of the awards and my predictions and my smokies, it is also going to contain the odds. If you're looking for a punt, this is only advice, gamble responsibly as we know. But since about 1 in every 10 viewer on this channel, especially in the last 3 months, is between the ages of 13 and 17. They don't need to see the gambling odds. It's peddled enough by the AFL, and I'm going to play my part in not doing that. So that's why it's there. Nothing freaky going on here, but I'm going to go through most of the major AFL awards. I'm going to give my winners. I'm going to give my smoky. So comment below. Let me know what you think. If you enjoy the content, click that subscribe button. 500 before round 1 does look like a pipe dream, considering we're only a few days away, but the closer we get, the better. I really appreciate all the love, guys. If you've already subscribed, of course, you're probably sick of me saying it, but I do appreciate the love and appreciate the support. This Daz Talks Footy community has been an awesome thing to build over the preseason. I can't wait for the season proper, but how are you guys going to know who are going to win the awards if Daz doesn't tell you? So let's do it.
Port Adelaide, T-vote, 3 votes. And I declare the winner of the 2021 Brownlow Medal is Ollie Wines of the Port Adelaide Football Club.
Alright, let's start with the Rising Star. Now, if Elijah Hollands didn't have a groin injury, he would have been smack bang in the winner column. He's not, though. I'm relying on a guy that is going to play 22 games, I think. And I know Matthew Lloyd came out and said that it's Nick Dacos's to lose, and whilst it can look like that a little bit, I'm still so unsure about what the Vic kids are going to do. In a COVID-ravaged world, is it going to take them longer and longer to settle to life in the AFL spectrum? Now, Nick Dacos playing at halfback is going to help him. It just is. This is the way of the beast. Now, the footy IQ are amazing, the skills are amazing, but I'm going to go with the kid who's played senior footy recently, and I know they're under enough pressure already, but Jason Horne-Francis is my winner. $4.33. That's beautiful odds for me, but it's the smoky that I want to talk about. This guy has been told by his coach he's going to be playing multiple roles, so he's probably got a spot in the team. His preferred role has a bloke in it that he's already injured. He is a beautiful kick of the footy, didn't win a lot of one-on-one contests last year, and he's $18. Heath Chapman, come on down. If you are a punter and you're going to have a little play at that is gorgeous. Of course, if you're not, comment below and let me know who you think is the smoky for the Rising Star. That's what this is all about, good old banter. But I think this Rising Star class is going to be frightening with all the talent that is going to be there. And I'm going to feel like a proper dick if Elijah Hollands does end up winning. So that'll be an interesting one to watch. But that's my pick for the Rising Star. So let's go to the Coleman Medal, and what's frightening about this is both of these guys, my winner and my smoky, have actually got a teammate at better odds. So what the hell's going on there? But my winner is going to be the Tomahawk. Geelong plays so many games at GMHBA to finish the season. He plays the ground so well, and he's going to kick snags by taking the ball out of the ruck, as we know he's got that forward ruck style that he's got. He can just bully second ruckman out of the way, and he's going to kick a few snags. I think he's going to play 22 games. Guys like Jeremy Cameron interrupted year last year, so you're already starting behind the 8 ball. And if Geelong are going to win the flag, I feel like Jeremy Cameron's going to kick 5 or 6 here or there. But for anywhere between 2 and 4 goals a game, Tomahawk's the man, and he's going to take it out. Harry McKay doesn't back it up, I don't think. Interrupted pre-season, which isn't fantastic. And there are so many guys on that first line that look like traps to me. Tomahawk is the go. And for the smoky, I think he finally figured it out late last year. And considering his midfield, although it is the best in the competition, are still not elite kicks in the competition, just put it in the air and let him jump at the footy. Ben Brown looks like an absolute gun option at that price. Clunks the footy. We know he's got a good set shot routine. We know what he was capable at North when they were not that good and took time to settle in at the Ds and ready to go. I think it's either of those two boys and maybe a little bit of daylight between the next one. So the Coleman for me, Tomahawk's to lose, and if he does, Ben Brown's the go. Alright, minor premier. Now, fun fact for you in regards to Melbourne, only Collingwood in 2011 and Richmond in 2018. They're the only 2 times in the last decade and a bit, since 2010, that the winner of last year's grand final has gone on to finish first. So history tells us it's not going to be Melbourne. Now, definitely ain't going to be the Bulldogs because their last 2 grand final appearances, they couldn't finish in the top 4. So, who does the minor premiership mean a lot to? I think it would mean a lot to Brisbane. I think that them getting on top of the ladder to maybe bury some psychological demons there, to get the home qualifying final, I think everything would be put in place for Brisbane to get there. Now, I do worry about their tall forward stocks, as we know, I've talked about that, but they've got a really settled defense. Their midfield bat's really deep, so can they compensate for a Hipwoodless forward 50? And when he gets there, you know, not a great marking core? I think they can. And if it's not going to be Brisbane, it's going to be Port Adelaide. So interstate is the go for me. But for Port, I think finishing first, I think they did it in 2020. I think they finished first in 2020. But I think why finishing first for them is going to be, you know, somewhat important. Again, is get that home qualifying final. Now, I've spoken about how I think they should lose that, win the semi, and then travel to a preliminary final, but they're going to want to set themselves up in the best way. Melbourne and the Bulldogs have got the experience of getting to grand finals. Brisbane and Port, their groups currently don't, so it's going to mean more to them. Have a little bit of a play on both, and if one checks, bang, we're flying. And the Brownlow, you have just won yourselves a one-way ticket to Flavortown. So in 2019, Nat Fyfe won the Brownlow. Freo didn't make the finals. And if there is one man who can do that, can carry his team like Fyfe did, whether the squad is good enough or not, he is going to be under the umpires' noses. He can find the footy. He can tackle. He can kick goals. He's the best looking man in the game. Jack Steele, $12. Yes, please. Oh, just outstanding value for the great man. Again, we've got some history on our side that your team doesn't have to be necessarily one of the best in the competition to stand out. He's not going to have blokes taking votes on him. Off him, you've got Bont McRae, you've got Walsh Cripps, you've got Petrarca Oliver, and Gawn, for when he dominates. You know, Ollie Wines won it with Boat getting a few votes as well. I understand that. So it's not like coming from nowhere. But who's taking votes off Jack Steele if the Saints have a really good win? Who else is getting 3 votes? Max King, if he kicks 6, well, Jack will probably get 2. $12. Yes, please. And the Smoky, a $51 Smoky. Now, to be fair, Clayton Oliver was $41 last year and came into at one stage $2.50. I should have cashed out. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. We are going to talk about the Rolls Royce himself, Josh Kelly, who, this isn't an overreaction to the preseason form that he has shown. But considering Toby Green's out for a little bit, so you got Taranto, Canelio not playing that full mid role, I should say. So not playing that role. So Josh is going to be under the eye of the umpires the whole time. He's a beautiful kick of the footy. And given the fact that Leon Cameron, for some boneheaded reason last year, played him on a half-forward flank, he gets more and more dangerous around the stoppage and can kick snags. $51. Look, is he going to win the Brownlow? Maybe. Maybe not. Who knows? As a beautiful little cash-out option, I love it. I love it so much. The Giants are one of those 4 or 5 teams fighting for that 7th and 8th spot. So they're going to be in every game. They're not going to take the foot off the pedal. And if the Giants are going to make a good run, their midfield needs to stand up. And that means Josh Kelly, that number 1 man in that midfield. The Premier, who's going to win the flag? Pretty important piece of information there. Of course, the favourites have got to be Melbourne. The list profile, the way they play, it all makes sense. They had barely any off-season surgeries. I think they had 1. Someone in the comments will correct me on that. But they did not have many at all. They're fresh, they're prime, they're ready to go. And normally you're looking at premiership teams going, what's the motivation to go back-to-back? Melbourne didn't get to do it in front of their home fans. They just didn't. So that's got to be the extra motivation to pack that MCG with 100,000 people and watch the D's go back-to-back would be simply extraordinary. So it's them until someone takes over from them. But I've got 2 Smokies for you guys. The first one, the biggest Smoky, is going to be the Tigers getting slept on, which is weird to say about the Tigers. Everything's put in place for them to have one last tilt at it. And of course, my second Smoky, if my conspiracy theory comes true, is Port. I still worry about Brisbane's tall marking contingent. And if Charlie Cameron gets injured, they are in real trouble. Melbourne, Richmond, can you imagine? 105,000 people they'd get. They'd hang off the roof of the G, or that top bit, you know. It would be simply extraordinary. One of the best things, you know, for Victoria with the 2 years that they've had. Call it Vic Bias if you want to. I really don't care. So what do you think, guys? Comment below. Let me know. Shorter video today, which I don't mind at all. Hope you don't either. Fingers crossed your weekend is going well. If you haven't subscribed, do so already. Can't wait until round 1. Hope you can join us then. Until the next video, guys. Goodbye.